That's up. Alright, I am back with another video, and we're going to be looking at pictures. So I can sit in a comfortable position, and I will begin. Okay, what's this here? This is this image that I've discussed in other videos, but this is projected on the Hoover Dam, the first image projected on the Hoover Dam. Clone or Köln or Cologne FC. Why the hell would they project this on the Hoover Dam? Well, this whole image is a reference to the Hoover Dam, funnily enough. The goat, the ibex goat that climbs up the side of the dam, and actually one of my guys that watches me, Sean, mentioned Baphomet today. I did another video on folding the $1 bill, and I didn't actually discuss it in that video, but you can get Baphomet on the one side, which I didn't actually show. So anyway, thank you, Sean, for pointing that out to me. I wasn't going to mention that, but this head here it references the womb. It's the uterus. It's the same shape. This is why you see all these, like the cow head or a sheep's head or whatever. It has that same shape. It references the uterus, especially with the horns coming off, the kind of oviduct type affair coming down. And so, yes, you've got this sort of Baphomet character. Now you see videos that I've seen that have mentioned this on the Hoover Dam. They all go, "Oh, this is all satanic, blah blah blah." I don't read too much into that. This is really why I didn't want to get into talking about Baphomet, because you'll get a bunch of people going on about, the devil and all this stuff. The easiest way to hide knowledge, I'll just leave it at this. The easiest way to hide knowledge is to either ridicule it or demonize it. I don't deny that there's some negative aspects to it, but there's positive aspects to it as well. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Here we've got the original Twin Towers. Cologne as we would say, and this is a reference to the twins that are born here. This is Cologne, the copy. One's a copy of the other. The twins, the two faces, Bifrons, Bifrons, Yanis, and then we got the Hoover logo right in the Hoover Dam. You've probably seen, and I've gone over this before, so I don't want to go back over this too much. You also have the golden ratio right here. 1FC is 1.63. It's the golden ratio, and within that ratio there, if you go and look at Lucas numbers, you can go and look this up. Lucas numbers, similar to Fibonacci numbers. 1.63 is 18 divided by 11. Okay, and you'll find that in that sequence right next door to 7-11, which was our last installment of a big ritual thing. Right, with that being said, why have I picked this logo out again to talk about? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm getting a lot of stuff from my little daughter. She was listening to some rock music the other day. Well, it was a mixture of rock music and whatever. And what came on but a Billy Idol song? And as soon as I heard, I thought, "Oh, you listening to Billy Idol?" As soon as I said that to myself, I'm like, "Yes, Billy Goat, Billy Idol." This is, we've got a direct reference here. So let's go straight on, because we're going to come back to this later on, but let's go straight on to what this is. This is the idol. This is the dam. This represents the dam. The head, the idea of a goat climbing up the side of you've probably seen that, but that's in my other video. The ibex goat that can climb these dam walls. Okay. I don't want this to be too long, because I got to get through this Billy Idol. I got two that I'm going to go through. He is absolutely loaded with stuff. difficult to know where to set. This is the start of Eyes Without a Face. If you listen to the lyrics of this video, this is definitely, well, I say he is definitely, whoever wrote this, they are definitely talking about the fictional system. Look at this. This is right at the start of the video. We've got the V here. It's a little difficult to see, but it comes on down. It comes on down here. We've got the V. This is the V. This is the dam here. And what we've got here is this line of what looks like sort of bluey coloured flames. Interesting. The fictional flame would be blue. We've got a line here, and we've got 2 tracks here. This looks a little bit like the Back to the Future scene where Marty goes back to the future, and we've got the line from where the lightning's hit it on fire. So we've got the Cross of Lorraine right here. We've got the V of the dam, and we've got basically this. If you play it yourself, I'm not going to play it because of the copyright, but you've got this looks like water here flowing, and of course the mistiness coming off the water, and the mist obviously is the fictional. I mean, how do you represent something that doesn't really exist with mist? So, I mean, in the midnight hour, and that's referenced, of course, again in a number of places. The midnight hour, it's referenced all over the place actually. So I'm wondering at what time this event is going to occur. I will say this much. I am doing this I've started this on the 30th of September. It is now, we've already done a few minutes, and we're at 11:55 right now, funnily enough, as I look at the clock on the computer. This will not get out until the 1st of October. This will be coming out on the 1st. Whether it'll happen this year or another year, or whether it'll be this date, it's anybody's guess. Anyway, start singing. Look at this again. We got him. We got the head as a sun. We got the V here. The shape of his head is a V. You know, there's probably a reason why they had that haircut on him. We've got the light coming from behind, the fictional light, the corona. This is the light that's not proper light, if you like. It's the controlling system, the corona. And he's singing. And there's not really, I mean, that's pretty powerful. The first two, the opening scenes of the whole thing's pretty powerful. And of course, you know, hang on a minute, go back a second. Oh yeah, there's this as well. Billy Idol, blonde hair, blue eyes. A reference to the sun and a reference to the fiction. The blue of the fiction and the gold of the sun, combined as one man. Okay, here's another interesting part of this. Let's see if I can get it slightly better. Hang on a minute, back up. This, you've got to look at this and say, what the hell is this? But actually, while we were on it's not really Baphomet, but if you look at this picture now, turn it on its side and look from this direction, from the left hand of your screen, flip that and make this the top and make this the bottom. Okay, what you got? 2 eyes, a face here, a nose here, breathe in some kind of bluey coloured, it might be a lion, or you know, or a tiger or something, but it's got that kind of white puffiness there. But that's definitely looks like a nose to me, of a lion, and 2 eyes, and sort of I don't know, a top part. Anyway, it looks like a face. Another reference to the dam, the V shape of it. And a lot of these animals that we just, you know, I was just saying about the goat there, a lot of these animal heads make that V shape, which is the shape of the uterus, the place where you come from. Anyway, I've already waffled on too much. I don't really want to spend too much time on this video. Definitely worth a couple of watches. This is interesting. This is Billy Idol's arm, putting a tourniquet on for some reason, and this I suppose I'll get into this now while I'm on it. This is, let me see if I've got it here. There's the lyrics. Oh dear, oh dear. Tattoo, here it is. Right, look at this tattoo. You're not going to believe the name of this tattoo. Here it is, on the side here. This is this tattoo. If I could pull the right thing up and down. Here she is. Octobriana. This is her. This is the tattoo right here. Octo. You just can't write this stuff. Octobriana. And okay, so this becomes a reference. So she's got this star on her forehead. I forget who has that. Is it Lilith that has that star on her forehead as well? And that comes back to Baphomet again. Anyway, if you look up that stuff, you'll be able to make them links without me having to explain it all. But Octobriana, okay, a fictional character, but what references the October Revolution, where other than in Russia, do we have the Bolshevik coup, blah blah blah, October coup, Red October. Interesting, isn't it, how we've got to this reference here? Oh, 7th of November, not quite the 8th of November. That would be the 8/11. One day before, though, Petrograd. Oh, but there's some interesting dates in here if you want to go look at this stuff. But is this a reference to what is about to happen? A revolution? I don't know. You can think what you want to think. But it's just interesting that he's got that on the side of his arm. Yeah, so we've got another reference to October, and now we've got a reference to a civil war, basically, the Russian Civil War. Great, I'm really looking forward to this when it happens. Okay, so hang on a minute, I'm jumping way ahead because I wanted to get into that stuff here in a minute as well. I've got to try and do this very quickly, but you can get the lyrics up, and there's some good stuff in here. This is a deep song, a really deep song. This is talking about the fictional side of the system. It's easy to deceive, it's easy to tease, but it's hard to get release. You cannot get out of the system. You get teased by it and you get deceived by it. You can't get out of it. Eyes without a face, man. It is, oh man. It's a pretty deep song. I spend so much time believing all the lies to keep the dream alive. I'll let you go through this and you can have a look at the lyrics right now. I thought this was interesting. You teal, I think that's supposed to be you steal a car and go to Las Vegas. Oh, gigolo cool. The gigolo. What is the gigolo? The gigolo is the man that gets paid off, usually a younger man, to be with the older woman, the crone, the old hag of the triple goddess, the crone. That's what the gigolo gets paid. Interesting, called it gigolo because that reminded me, gigolo, because I'd been thinking about why does Doc Brown call a gigawatt instead of a gigawatt? What is really a gigawatt? He calls it a gigawatt. Maybe that's the reference there to gigolo. You are the gigolo getting paid off by the fictional system, you know, to satisfy the old hag, if you like. I don't know, the old hag that would be referenced as America, the United States of America, the corporation. So that is also referenced in I Pet Goat. They have that old hag in the phallus. So that's the reference there as well to the old hag, and of course it's referenced. It's referenced all over the place. But that's what you're controlled by. You come into the illusion, and the illusion's all fresh. You've got the young goddess that and then you've got the the in between one, and then you're finally controlled by the old hag of a goddess, and that's where we're at right now, being controlled. Anyway, there's some interesting stuff. I mean, he references Vegas, turning holy water into wine. You know, there's a ton of stuff in here. Basically, it's not a overly technical song, but it's a good song. It's a good tune anyway. I wanted to reference that one, and of course, White Wedding. And one more thing I'll say: what label is this guy on? He's on Chrysalis Records. Another reference to Rebirth and Metamorphosis. I don't know if they just invented that name for him. Anyways, as a start of, we're on to the next one now, White Wedding. Another very interesting one for right now. In fact, all of his are pretty interesting. They've all got deeper meanings about coming out of the fiction. Doubtful whether he actually wrote any of it. He's definitely a talented guy, but here we go. He is under the veil, the black veil, and this is getting removed. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Taking it off. He's got a cross in the background. Twin towers. You know, it's all. You're gonna have to go through and pick it out yourself. I haven't got time to spend, you know, deciphering every tiny little bit. She's on a gurney here. She's really. Actually, I was watching this with my daughter, and she said, "Oh, she's a ghost." You know, and it's true. Here we go. Here we go again. You'll see this in all of his videos, the triple goddess. A lot of the time, they're shaking their ass right in front of the camera. I said to my daughter, I said, "Oh, that's not very polite." I said it's a reference to the moon. You know, they're showing you the moon in a very literal sense. You know, but anyway, it's the triple goddess, the moon again. And we go through it, and there's one more point in here that I want to pick up. Of course, the whole thing's loaded, but there's one more really good reference in here, and she comes. Come on, come on. And let's get to the exchanging of vowels and everything else. It's right here, actually. Right, this ring. It's not a very good shot of it, but you can go look at the video yourself. This is a ring. It's a crown of thorn type ring. It's a direct reference to the corona and to the control system, and he's actually placing it back on her finger. She being, I think, the illusional side of the system. But it's like him saying, "I've had enough." And he's giving back the ring. So he's placing the crown of thorns on her ring. Cuts her finger on the way down, but boy, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Does anybody know what that means? All them arms going out like that. Does that mean somebody's died? Anyway, I don't know what else to say about it. We've got him coming through this archway. There's this. I don't know what this is here. Is this Jesus? Is this I don't even know really. But anyway, burst through it like he's being reborn. We've got the goddesses again, and there's a bunch of stuff in here, and I can't be bothered to go through the whole thing. It's interesting. Look at the lyrics. It's a nice day to start again. Starting again. We're talking about rebirth. Nice day for a white wedding. Does that mean coming into the light now? Coming back into the light? Re-wedding with nature's white light? I don't know. Nice day to start again anyway, and there's some interesting stuff in here as well. Hey little sister, look what have you done? Who's the only one? I was trying to think if there was anything else, but this is all about rebirth again. I'll let you go ahead and go over that one. Billy Idol's tattoo again. Yeah, we've gone through that now. And the October Revolution. I got a bit ahead of myself there. So now I'm coming on to what I just did a video on, which was this folding of the $1 bill. And I'll go back over why I chose the $1 bill, because we're going to be dealing with the 101 event. Hopefully you can see my cursor all right, but this coming across here is 101 and 101. I couldn't do this very well on the camera because I'm trying to look at where I'm pointing with the pencil and look at the camera, and everything's backwards. Just goes to hell. But anyway, here we go. 101. This is what I got from this. My best guess for this letter was an E. T is what I got. And that T has several different references. So if you fold the note, if you go to my other video, you can see how to fold the note, but you're basically just folding one end up onto the other end, and you're getting this Vesica Pisces right here. This is the kind of stuff that I can't explain very well. What you've also got, if you look at this here and this here, if you take this shape, you've got an eye coming back this way, and you've got a Vesica Pisces going this way. So you've got one on top of the other, a 0 on top of another 0, which forms an 8. You can also spread this thing out and form that 8, but oh dear. Anyway, I go on to tell you that if this is the reference point here where you're born from, the center of this thing, and you can either drop down into these cobwebs here and be caught by the fictional system, which is the cube or the square, or you can ascend and become the T, the Christ. That shape, the cross of Christ. Okay, I don't like to call it the crucifix, but the cross of Christ. That's what you become if you put your arms out to receive the light from above. See, so anyway, that's the T. T is also the 20th letter in the alphabet. We've got a 20 right here. What else do I want to say about this? I'll go through quickly. I can't remember what's on there. If you want to rearrange these letters to ETA, that's your estimated time of arrival. Okay, this is when you're going to be born, and there's also another reference to that with AET. That's an abbreviation of, I can't remember what it's abbreviation of now, but it's an abbreviation of something that means at a certain age or whatever. So this is maybe a reference to coming of age. And, well, I never mentioned this before, but you've also got to eat up here. I'm not quite sure where that falls into thing, but ATE is 8. Phonetically, you've got an 8 from that number there. So you can also look up in medieval Roman numerals. T is 160, 4 times 40. I'm trying to think what else. There is another reference in Roman numerals to the T being, I can't remember what it was now though. Something upside down. The T is also the X. If it's a cross here, it's also an X coming this way, which is a 10 in that's also a 10 in Roman numerals. The T is 19 in Latin, and I think I'm just about exhausted all the T's. But the interesting thing about T is, we talk about what empires, and I'm sorry I'm going over the same stuff for the people that have already watched my other video, but T is what found, they say that's what the British Empire was built on. So, you go to, there's been several different, in the Matrix they go on about how many different times, several different versions of the Matrix, this is the 7th interpretation or the 7th attempt at getting it right. The Empire has been around, I would guess, for a very, very, very long time, and we just keep getting new versions of it. That's all. It just reinvents itself every once in a while. The same people that are behind the scenes just move to the next place. So anyway, so the British Empire, it's just a little quirky thing here, formed on T. What created the free man in this country? The Boston Tea Party. You just can't write this stuff. This is what generated the free man. It's also what generated the fiction as well, but it's what generated the free man. You have to become that T, the cross of Christ, if you want to be free. The thing that really controlled Christ was that crown of thorns, was the corona that took him into the darkness. Anyway, what else do I want to say here? I reference the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. You're in the water, you're washing. The DC current generated by the Hoover Dam. Okay, this is the control system right here, this square. This is the same as the cube. The square is the 2D shape. What else to say about it? If you flip it on the other way up and get Washington DC, it's a diamond. You've got two triangles, one pointing up, one pointing down. The one pointing down is the female version, is this thing. The one pointing up is the phallus, is the male version. When those two combine, you get balance between the two sides of reality, between fiction and the material side, nature. Probably why it's used as a symbol for like a sheriff. He's supposed to be, you know, fair, and he's supposed to be the justice, the equalizer, the balancer. Man, something owl out there or something. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, I also tell you, this is what this is. This is the river. This is the Colorado River here. This is the two sides, each state. This is Nevada. This is Arizona. Here's the Phoenix in Arizona and the sun. And here's the Luxor in Vegas in Nevada. Clark County, Superman. This is the two different faces, the two sides of the coin. Bifron, Bifrons, Biff. The one guy that looks into the past and the one guy that looks into the future. I don't know which way around that is. I guess the past might be that way and the future might be that way, depending on, because you're in two different time zones between those two states. This is the dividing line, the state line here. This is the Hoover Dam. This is the direct reference to the Hoover Dam in so many different ways. So you've got the Yanis, the two-faced. This is the birth certificate here. This is the fictional character. This is your clone over here. This is the real man. This is, you know, referenced in quite a number of things, like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, this clone. The clone. This is the real man. This is the copy, the birth certificate. And I think I say this, before Christ, the BC. BC stands for birth certificate. BC stands for before Christ, before becoming the cross. This is what you are. You play out this role as the birth certificate. You need to scrap this thing, or at least know what it is and take control of it, so you can return back to here. You need to bring the balance back over to this side. Everybody's over this side right now. Okay, what we got here with the 10 square miles, you've got 100 in here. And you're the man, the Neo, the one that comes out of the 100. 101 again. The 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. Gosh, what was I going to say now? I've completely forgotten. It'll come back to me at some point, hopefully. Oh yeah, if you take these... So, these boundary lines here, 4 boundary lines. You can take those boundary lines and you can use it either as a box, as a containment box like this, or you can use nature, and nature is a cross, which I've just been saying about that, you know, the T. This T, you can take the boundary line here and you can move it to here. You can take a boundary line here and you can move it to here. Now this thing's open. You've got a boundary line here, a boundary line here, a boundary line here, and a boundary line here. Or you can even come across it this way and this way. And you've got a point in the middle where you operate from, a balanced point where you operate out from, rather than being trapped inside this thing. These boundary lines now become balance lines. So you're operating from a balanced position. Anyway, I don't know if you understand that, but what else do I want to say about this? I wanted to try and describe this here It's not a very good image, but I kind of got this from it. And this is what you're striving to become. You're striving to become, if you take this image here, look, this is the triangle, this is the side of the pyramid here, and then you've got the wing on it. I don't know if you get that from that. Here it is again. You've got the triangle here, the side of the pyramid, and the wing. This is actually a better one. Triangle here and the wing. And what do you end up with? You end up with the triangle and the wing. And there's kind of a hazy bit here. An angel. This is what you're trying to become. It would have been better if this wing had been up a little bit. You know, and they'd made a bit of a better head there. I don't know. Maybe they hadn't thought about that. But anyway, that's what I saw there. But this is what you're trying to become, this angel that can balance both these things. The angel is the thing that can go to heaven and it can also come back down to earth and operate in both systems. Okay, this is going to be way too long. We've done that. I'm getting off of that. We've put T into the gematria calculator. I don't usually use this calculator. This is just the one that came up this time. I've got one that will show you the Jewish as well, but I don't know what these all are. I don't know if one of those is actually, I don't know. I don't know nothing about gematria apart from type the letters in and see what type the letters in and see what numbers come up. 26, Kobe, got reference there. Reduces back down to 8. We've got 8, well, reduces to 8. 55 reduces to 1. 19 reduces to 1. We've got the cross of Lorraine right in here. 8, 1, 1. We've got the 11 and the 18 of the Lucas numbers. We've got what else have we got? 1955, Back to the Future. 1955, the double eights of Back to the Future again. We've got a bunch of stuff, and as I mentioned in another one, but I didn't actually show it. I did say though, if you gematria Hoover Dam, you will come up with 101. And oh, who mentioned it? I forgot your name. Sorry. Anyway, somebody put a comment in the last video. I apologise that I've forgotten your name. I'm absolutely useless with names. Anyway, what else we got going on? We get off the gematria now. Oh, we've got the other side of this. And on the other side of this is the, on the other side of one of these, I think it's this one, is the Baphomet image as well, which I should have pulled that up, I suppose, to show it. But anyway, Sean told me about that. I haven't seen the video on doing it, but as Sean did tell me about it, I'm like, yeah, that does look like the Baphomet on the other side of that. But I hadn't really looked at it, to tell you the truth, that much, because I was more as soon as I saw this and saw the other one, I was more interested in that than Baphomet. But of course, Baphomet, I Pet Goat, Billy Idol, that Baphomet head is a goat. The goat head is the dam. So you've got a direct reference there. And of course, Baphomet's going to pop up again here in a minute when we start talking about the White House. Stay tuned. Okay, what am I getting onto here? This. Look at this. Okay, look at this outline. Follow my cursor. Down, round, up, down to this. So you've got a bowl shape up here, which is the dam, and the water flowing over. And you've got this arch here, because I couldn't really point this out very good with my pencil in the video. Okay, the Last Crusade is what I meant to say in the other video. I think I was calling it the Holy Grail, but you know the film. This is what I got. This shape here. The bowl, the cup of Christ, the Holy Grail. This is the dam. This is what you come out of. The Holy Grail is the V. It is the womb that holds you. Okay. This is what I got from it anyway. This is the top part, and then this is the stem. Let's look at it again. The top part and the stem. That's what I got from that. I also got this arch here. Hopefully this is explaining it a little bit more than my... here's the Hoover Dam, here's the arch that's in front of it. In fact, this is a better view, but you can't really see it very well, but there's the arch. It's the wrong way, but... in fact, that's not a very good view. Saying it's a good view, Dan. Come on. There's probably a better view of it down here. No. Whatever. Anyway, don't want to go on about it too much. Let's move straight on to pennies. Pennies, pennies, pennies. This is interesting as well. Okay, I don't know if you saw that earlier when I was talking about it on that video as well. This is what this turns into. A nice, bright, shiny, orange, Trump-coloured penny with Mike Pence. Another reference to the penny, which of course I forgot to mention. And there's several references to the penny, like Big Bang Theory. Penny. Who's Penny with? Penny is with Leonard, the lion. Okay. The penny eventually turns green. Once it's been in the system too long, it gets a film on it, and it gets corroded with the green illusion. You get this alchemical thing. The green being a reference to the fiction, The Wizard of Oz, the green. I've got another reference to that here in a minute. But The Wizard of Oz, the green thing. The use of copper and the use of as money, and and I mentioned the Statue of Liberty, and you can get into the alchemical stuff and sulfur and Superman and all these links. Sulfurate with the crown, and if you put the blue filter over the gold coin, you end up with green. Okay, anyway, this is all alchemical stuff. That's to do with sulfur. This is to do with copper, and copper sulfate is also blue. And so you just go around in circles with the alchemical stuff and the meaning behind it, and it all boils down to three things. It boils down to the gold of the sun, what you want to be, the blue fictional filter, and what that creates, the green. Okay, the green illusion, and the blue is the illusion as well. Anyway, look at these pennies. Here we go, here's an English one. Britannia. Oh, Royal Britannia. Ah, oh, look what she's got here. What does this mean? She's the merchant. She's on the waters. Here's a trident. She's a dealer. This is a merchant image to me. This is talking about the sea, the fictional waters where you are in. Okay, great. A feminine image there, where you're going to be born from. I don't know what colour she wears. I don't know if she wears, the red, white, and blue as well. I can't remember. But anyway, well, there's one reference there. This was the one I was trying to show you earlier. This was the one that was in the maths book this morning. Here's the dam. This is going to be easier to see. Here is the dam. This is the dam, okay? Can you get that from that part of the shield as the dam? This is the crown. This is what needs to poke out of the dam. You need to crown, get your head out of there. This is what you need to wear. You need to wear your own crown. You need to become sovereign. You need to become the king, your own king. You don't want to be ruled by another king. You don't want to be ruled by the corona. You want this crown not to be a crown of thorns. You want this crown to be a halo. You want to be an angel. You want to be able to deal with the fictional system. And you want to be the Son of God at the same time. Okay, look at this penny. What is this? Rhodesia and... gosh, I can't even say that. I'm not even going to... I'll just butcher it if I try to say it. Right, but look at this penny. Obviously some kind of British dependency, or was once. 1 penny. They've gone as far as to put a hole in the middle of it. They're making it obvious now. This is where you're born from, the hole. Okay, Let's come on to some. There's Lincoln. Link. Köln. Köln is the cathedral. Cologne Cathedral. Cologne Cathedral is, let's say, clone. Cologne, clone. The clone of you. The clone is the birth certificate, what I've already talked about. So this is the reference here. Today, actually, now, because I'm already into the 1st of the 10th, we're into 101 already, and today is Lincolnshire Day in England. And I've mentioned this in the other one. It's also International Coffee Day. Cafe 80s Day. Okay. Here's a wheat penny. Does this look like a wheat head to you? It could be a wheat head. The other thing that a wheat head looks like. Let's look what a wheat head looks like, Dan. There's Penelope. I should mention that real quick. Here we go. I don't know why that's in there, but let's get to this. Here's your wheat penny. This is the laurel crown. Laurel is this. It comes from the bay laurel, okay, and interestingly, it's called the bay laurel because what you have formed here is a bay. If you imagine what a bay is, where ships would come in and take protection from the outer, main sea, they'd come into the bay, and so the bay would offer protection. So this corona here, this crown that's formed by the bay laurel, this is a bay. This is what offers you protection. Interesting, isn't it? It's also, it's a horseshoe shape. It's a womb shape. You'll see this worn by feminine figures a lot, by the Romans a lot. I think Apollo wears it. It's another reference to this fictional system. It's green. It's an evergreen. And this is what we're dealing with, this green fictional system. They've just used some leaves here. There's probably a bunch more references in here. I wouldn't doubt that some of these fertility gods wear this this laurel crown or wreath or whatever you want to call it. They wear it on their head. Here, look at this. Here's some wheat done in the same sort of style. A lot of these things are super interchangeable. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on it too much. I don't know if we can scroll down here and see any Olympic wreaths. Here's some women with it on. You know what I mean? I don't know if Diana wears it or who's that there. Looks like some kind of Roman emperor. Anyway, interesting, isn't it? There's Romans on it. I ain't going to dwell on it. We are Lorraine and Laurel. Lots of references there. We're back. Here's another reference to the penny while I'm on this thing here. Penelope and Odysseus, who went on the Odyssey. He was away traveling. I only bring this up because it reminds me of 2001 and of course 9/11 and Space Odyssey and Dave Bowman, who is playing this role of Odysseus, wherever it is. Oh, it says Odyssey, not Odysseus, but anyway, Odysseus. There it is. Odysseus goes on the on his voyage, goes and fights for 10 years in the Trojan War, comes back. It takes him 10 years to get back on his, and they call it the Odyssey. I haven't read it or read any of the versions of it, but of course it's all referenced with Ovid and Metamorphosis and all that stuff that we've already covered in ancient videos now. So, but it was just interesting that Penelope is referenced there. Oh my gosh, we're just jumping ahead too far down right now. Where was I at? Image of a penny. I don't want to get off the image of the penny quite yet. I got one more thing to cover that I don't know if made sense or not in the thing. But anyway, you've got this another crown here, Krona, the laurel crown, and a reference again to the thing that you're protected inside, the bay, the Laurel Bay. Okay, let's see if I can find another. I don't know what this is here, but this, it's a made-up penny by the looks of it. Penny saved is a penny earned. Penny wise, I guess. But anyway, you've got another bloody, looks like another laurel wreath there around it. And I haven't even got into looking at old pennies and all that other, I mean, you could, this is probably everywhere. Did I talk about the pork cutlass? I ain't going to talk about it again. But this is the gateway you've got to get through. This is the one that you've got. This is you, the one, Neo again. Neo. It's on there. Here's the crown that you want to wear. It's the same idea. This is the entrance way that you've got to get through. I'm losing track of what I've already talked about and what I've talked about in the other video. Here we go. I can't remember what that is. Is that the treasury? Flip it upside down. Looks a bit like the dam. What else we got? There was one in here that I wanted to talk about. I can't remember which one it was now. Come on, Dan. People don't want to watch you scrolling through pictures of blooming pennies. I'd be interested to see that one. I don't think I can make that work. Although, I can make it work. The kangaroo. What's the kangaroo famous for? For carrying its young in its pouch. I mean, can you make anything work? Maybe. Let's just randomly go through all these pennies. Give me something hard now. Come on. I don't know what else they could have put on there, but let's see. Come on. I mean, I guess they could have put like a bird on there, like a kookaburra or something. Or a crocodile or something. Here we are. It's not really what I wanted, but 1 cent. The Canadian maple leaf. Okay, and I just wanted a reference to maypole because I don't know if some people even know what a maypole is. But if you take this phonetically, you come up with maypole. And the maypole, where is it? Come on now. Here, no, back to the White House. Oh, don't tell me I've lost it. Where is it? The laurel crown. Penelope. Am I jumping through it too quick? Hoover Dam. Was it up here? Painful, Dan. Painful. Absolutely painful. Now I can't find it. There it is. Why couldn't I find that? You know what I mean? Did I just not go along far enough? That is absolutely painful when we get onto that stuff like that. But this is the maypole. Look at this maypole here. It's even got a cross on it. Great. That's the man. This is the man. This is the pole. Okay. Yes, it might be, the phallus might represent man. But if you just stand upright, that's the man. Okay. What is this stuff entwined around the man? The thing that's binding the man. The thing that's tying down the man. Do you remember on, oh bloody hell. It's one of the Pirates of the Caribbean when they're releasing Calypso. The nature being released. Well, it's not the man of nature, but being reborn back into nature. They've got Calypso tied up and they're all holding her down, just like this image here, holding, binding the maypole, binding the man here. So, I mean, just can't write this stuff. Can't write it. Anyway, let's get on to. I want to discuss this. I got a few of these out of order here for some reason. Let's talk about this thing. Let's get this out in the open now. So, of course, I'm super familiar with this side. Being a novice, American, I'm very familiar with this side of the White House. I am less familiar with this side of the White House. I tested my wife. She passed. She's like, yeah, that's the White House. I'm like, oh, God. Because this is what I see. I'm trying to think of times when I've seen this side of the White House, and can't really. But anyway, this is what I'm familiar with. Anyway, this side, of course, you've got the arch. This is the dam represented here. But what is this side as well? This side is the clock tower. This is the dam as well. This whole thing is the clock tower, or is the dam. Okay, hang on a minute. I'll get onto that in a second. Let's just look at a Back to the Future clock tower. Here we are again. The clock tower. Here it is. the front of the White House. Just a little side note: in the film, when you see this in its first the first scene in 1985, there is a Y path, or maybe it's in 1955. I can't remember, but there's a Y path here in front of this clock tower. Another reference to the flux capacitor, to the Y, and the cup of Christ again. You know, the womb. Just thought I'd put that in there because I forgot to mention it before. But yes, and the place where Diana's buried. We got another bloody clock tower, another temple clock tower type thing. The dam again. The oval. What have you got at the? You've got several ovals in the garden there. You've also got an office at the White House called the Oval Office. If you look at the floor on that office, there's a cross in it. You've got kind of a parquet type floor in there. I don't think I've got it up though. But this is what this is, the clock tower. This is the curve of the dam on the other side of it. This is the one side with the 4 pillars facing out into the fictional waters. This is the side, maybe it's the other way around, but this is the other side of it. The curved side. The bit where you've got to come out from. I don't know. I think there's water. Maybe there isn't water in front of that part. Water in front of this part. Is this Lake Mead here? But I think if you look at an aerial view, there might be another thing down there. Anyway, look at Biff's tower. Who's in there right now? Trumpy boy? Biff? Okay, you look at these ones. Check this out. I didn't notice that. I've just come across this. I noticed it the other day when we was watching. I'm like, bloody hell, the clock. I didn't even know that. Clock tower Biff's tower is built right into the clock tower. This is the White House. Biff Trump is in the White House, predicted right here. I mean, you just can't write this. Just can't write it. I know people have been have said about the Biff thing and Trump for ages, but the White House is right here. He's already turned the White House into Trump Tower. I don't know if anybody else has said that. I'm sure that probably somebody has, but it's new to me anyway, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. Right. This video is going to be super long. It's going to take me forever to download it as well. So anyway, we've done all that. We've done the maypole. This is Diana, and of course I said, her sons, William and Harry, or Henry, is his proper name. Hoover. William Henry Hoover, the boss Hoover. Let me just show you this. I got it here. William Henry Hoover, the boss, the 18th of August, 1808. Great. If you can get it out. I'm not going back to that yet. Hang on a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself here. We don't even want to get onto that yet, Dan. Get off that. Oh yeah, here's the Oval Office. There's probably a picture. Hang on a minute. Let's see if we can find a picture of that floor so you can see what we're dealing with. Come on. There's got to be a picture of the floor naked. Not really. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Look, there's the floor, the cross right in the middle of the oval. This is the Christ right here. Excellent. Oh, anyway, let's go on and look at the diamond. That is the 10 square miles that is controlling you right now. This is it. Virginia, Maryland, Richmond, the rich man, moon. I don't know what. That you can get some rude stuff from that as well. Maryland, Annapolis, the Virgin Mary. From these two things, here is the Y. The two waters merge in here. Here's the womb. The whole thing, the womb. Over here somewhere is the White House. It's almost smack bang in the center of this thing. I think it might be offset a little bit, but anyway, they tried their best to get it in the right spot. But this is where you're going to be born from. You know, through the birth canal right here. What more to say about it? Columbia. Look at pictures of Columbia. What she's wearing. She's got the torch. I'm thinking of the movie Company. Looks a bit like the Statue of Liberty. Blue and white. There's a reason why they chose copper for the Statue of Liberty, because they wanted that green look. I don't know what else they would have done it in. I guess, I mean, even bronze would have turned probably maybe bronze would have stayed a more brown color, but they wanted that bluey color. Okay, that's the mother. What's she holding? A false light, a false flame, a torch. I don't know. Is she leading you out of the light, or is she giving you false light? You can interpret it whatever way you want. Anyway, District of Columbia. DC. The spark happens in here. This is where you get created. The spark of God, the 1.21 gigawatts is created by the Hoover Dam, no doubt, back in 1955. The thing that could create 1.21 gigawatts. The DC current. The DC, the spark. DC that makes the spark. I don't know what else to say about it. Washington, DC. You're going to be washed clean of all your sins, hopefully, when you come out of this thing. I don't know. Let's get on. Oh, here's the White House. You can't really make it out in this, the square, the triangle, the thing, but here it is. And so if we get onto all the conspiracy theory stuff with symbols in here, well, I say conspiracy, it's pretty much, it is there. Here's an egg shape. Here's the, I believe this is looking east. So of course, the man will be focused out on this point, the rising sun coming through here, to be birthed here. This is the V is pointing, the feminine is pointing to the setting sun. I don't know. You can wangle it any which way you want. This is the goat head, the Baphomet, the two horns, the head here, the V of the head, the ears sticking out the side. What do I want to say about this? The White House is right here. We've got an oval. There's a ton of stuff. Oh, and we also got a Star of David out of it as well at some point. The balance of the two sides, fiction and the material world, and oh gosh, man and woman, Adam and Eve. There's a reason why Adam starts with an A, and there's a reason why Eve has a V in it. Right, come on, getting tired. We've jumped onto Cologne. I wanted to put that in there just to re-highlight. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything else to say about the White House. No, let's just... The Hoover logo, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And we'll talk about Zoran in a minute. And we'll talk about iPet Goat. So, Cologne, the clone of you. This is the original Twin Towers, okay? They're identical to one another. This is one version's a fictional version, one version's the real version. This is, you look in the mirror, you see the same thing, but the one side doesn't have a reflection back in the mirror. This is where you get into the vampire stuff and all, the references to the vampire. The empire is the vampire, the fiction is the vampire, and so you can get into all this, what the blood sucking side of the system. But this is what it is. It's nothing. It doesn't have a reflection. It doesn't really exist. So the original Twin Towers. Interesting that it has this pronunciation in English. St. Peter's. I pet goat too. Peter, pet. The goat with Cologne FC. The clone of you. The birth certificate. Don't know what else to say. Here's the Baphomet thing. I'm jumping all over the place now. I apologise. Here's the head. We've got Lilith. We've got Samael, or whatever the hell you sell that. The archangel, or whatever. Partially responsible for the fall of man, something like that. Adam's first wife, the moon goddess, Lilith. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't really want to delve into it too much. This doesn't necessarily, this doesn't have to be a negative. Well, I guess it is a negative and positive thing, but if it was truly just, where have I read this before? If it was one or the other, if it wasn't as above, so below, if it was just below, then it would be negative, wouldn't it? Anyway, I don't want to go on about that, because people just get all wound up about it. Okay, Zoran, let's just do this real quick while I'm here. This whole thing, and we'll get to it in a minute, but this whole thing, his plan here in which one was this one? A View to a Kill. His whole plan, Christopher Walken's plan, was to basically collapse a big portion of California, maybe, and then make a ton of money from selling real estate. I don't know. Anyway, the idea is he's going to cause the fault to destroy this big area. So he's going to pump. Basically, I think what he ends up doing is he's going to blow a big hole somewhere, and then that water that floods something is going to blow something up. I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've seen this film. But the thing that stuck in my mind, thinking about Lake Mead maybe going dry, was that guy sat in a boat that was fishing, and then all of a sudden the lake just drains dry. They also end up in at some point they end up on the Golden Gate Bridge, and of course an airship and lots of other references. James Bond is absolutely littered. You can go and look at any James Bond really, and you'll find the rebirth thing in there. And of course you've got the 8. You've got the 8, the 00, the 2 Faces, and the 7. In fact, that's actually in here, 007. There's 2 O's and a 7 in there. You've got a H in here. I would just want to pick up this Zoran. This is the, look, OZ, Oz, Wizard of Oz right there with the green. You've got a H in here, and I just wanted to pick that up with the reference to, and also show people, if you hadn't seen the Hoover logo, this is the Hoover logo. You've got a H in here, and you've got that same corona ring, and the sun behind this one, and the Zoran one, very similar. You can pick up a H in here at an angle. I just thought it was interesting, and it was something that I just thought about with the whole idea of this earthquake idea, which is picked up in several other films. The idea of an earthquake causing this problem, and earthquakes are easy to create. we get an occasional earthquake up here where we are from them fracking down in Oklahoma. So if you want to put a big hole in the Earth's crust, or drill a bunch of holes down and then set off a bunch of bombs down in a certain seismic area, you can create earthquakes. In fact, just setting off a big enough bomb will create an earthquake. Not overly technical. And who gets blamed? Mother Nature. Okay, moving on. I'm on iPet Go, of course. At the start of it, you've got, I don't really want to do a video on this because it'll take forever, but I just wanted to mention at the start of it, you've got all this nonsense here, which we already know about. Here she is. She's sitting in the corona, and she's about to release the fruit of knowledge. Goes rolling across the floor, and then Obama's cacking his pants. Of course, there's a rebirth scene in that where it gets rolled across the floor. That I wanted to get to the Psalms. Here we are, Psalms 23 reference, and there's a Donald in there. But needless to say, there's a whole bunch more stuff in here, and we've got Anubis and traveling across the waters as the dead man, and Humpty Dumpty, and feeding the stuff into your empty shell that you are. The only thing that's going to fix you is yourself. Ton of rebirth stuff, moth to the flame, all this. I don't really need to explain it. There's Jesus and the Mother Mary in a bad state. That might actually be someone else as well, but and I think he has a black eye and a scarab beetle going across some other scarab beetles. There's a reference to the sun. Anyway, here he is, Jesus with the crown, the thorn of crowns, crown of thorns, the thing that's controlling him. Okay, he's not floating across here on a cross. This is what he's got on his head. This is the thing that covers the sun. The moon that covers the sun and creates that crown of thorns. Okay, this is him feeding you in with this stuff. We've got the upside down goatee here. Lincoln and the 5 is referenced in there, or something I saw the other day. But this is what people aren't getting with this. Okay, here's Anubis. Here's the gondola from Venice. I meant to say Venice. Oh, here we are. Here's Yom Kippur. The Kippers coming into the boat here. What's that all about? Making good with God again. Here he is, still coming. The heart's on fire now. There's a flame there. Okay, we got the Whore of Babylon up here. We've gone on about the gigolo lion here, controlled by the whore, actually controlled by desire. She's locked in there, anyway, she ends up having a natural cycle, return into nature maybe. Here's the fictional people, the birth certificate people, the straw man. Off slithers the genie, the snake. I had a good thing to say about that, but I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, the upside. Oh yeah, of course he's got the upside down thing on him, the genie, the upside down pyramid, which of course is a reference to the V, the dam itself, the fictional system. That's why it's upside down on his thing. Okay, we're all waking up. Jesus is spiraling up. Great. Another reference to Jesus there. That thing inside the mesh, coronal mesh as well there. More lilies. That was the lily earlier on that came out of when we had the 2 halves rebirthed out of the apple. Letting go of the fictional system. This is what I want to pick up on. It's taken forever, damn. But anyway, the crown comes off as... Now, a lot of people say, well, this is Notre Dame coming. Yeah, well, the reference is here. Notre Dame. Now, what happens when Notre Dame, when they had that fire? and the one middle tower bend. The whole thing didn't fall down like this. So this idea of this being Notre Dame, the other thing I want to say is, okay, yeah, it's Notre Dame, but don't forget, Notre Dame doesn't have these two great big towers here. This is a reference. This is Cologne here. Cologne Cathedral that we've got here, I think. And of course, Notre Dame is a direct reference to the dam. Notre Dame, Our Lady of, is again the Virgin Mary. But this is also a reference to the dam as well. Cologne, another Gothic cathedral, but the original twin towers. And yeah, just another reference to the dam. This thing's coming completely down. Oh, I don't want to play it. Right, let's start that again. Where did I get to before I started playing? I hope I got to about here. This is Cologne coming down. I've got to edit out a piece now. That's really peed me off. That thing started playing and it wouldn't stop. And I'll get a copyright for that, no doubt, because that was longer than about 2 seconds. Okay, this is God. This is Christ being reborn. The thing come off. This is the dam coming down. He came through the Vesica Pisces back there, and he's been reborn. I don't know what else to say about it. Can I get back to the Vesica Pisces so he can come in through there? Probably not. Here he comes through the Vesica Pisces. He's reborn, and the dam collapses behind him. Okay, he's going off into the sun. He's becoming the sun. He's heading that way. He's becoming the sun. At what time of year is this happening? Sometime around now, because we're already into Libra, and Libra is the clause of the Scorpion. That's an M with a little point on it. The Virgin or Virgo that we've just come out of is an M with the Vesica Pisces, the fish on the bottom of it. In between those two, they created Libra, which is the clause from Scorpio, and that represents balance. This is balance returning. So it's going to happen sometime during September or October, the time of balance returning, cosmic balance with Libra. This is what this is. This represents an eye for an eye. You know, this thing here. Also, you can get, you know, very loosely, you can get that Leviathan cross from it. The 118. I don't reference the numbers in here. The numbers are referenced in previous videos. But to finish, to get to the point of finishing up this video now, because it's getting late, what I want to say about the numbers is the 10. October is numbered for 8. So hidden in 10 is 8. The first gets you the 11 because you drop off the 0. So you've got an 11 there. You've got an 8 with the 10, and that gets you the 18 as well because you've got the 1 next to it. So you've got hidden in 101, which is a very popular number, one that somebody would remember, just like 911 had to be a popular number, and hidden within 911 was 711. And the same way with 101, you've got 81 hidden in there, the 18. There's also some other places where you can hide that. You can do 1010. That's another one that rolls off the tongue nicely. And there's some even all the way through to January if you watch some of my other videos. So, because of the reference to Janus, and Janus being 1-1, 2 faces. Anyway, so from iPet Goat, we got that Psalms 23 reference. Psalms 23 talks about walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Well, if the sun comes up in the east over here, and the sun is heading towards the Golden Gate where it sets, the Golden Gate. So if the sun is here, if the sun is here at the Golden Gate, this is where you're trying to get to, is the Golden Gate. You want to get through that, put colours through the Golden Gate. That's what you want to become, the sun, right there. Okay, so if the sun's here, where's the shadow of the valley of the shadow of the Valley of Death? The shadow falls on here. If this is Death Valley, the shadow of Death Valley falls right here from the sun. So across here, there's a shadow being cast here, where all the nonsense goes on, all the bad behaviour, the fictional city, the thing that is, completely created to for indulgence. Let's put it that way. Right next to it, we've got the flux capacitor again. Okay, and the Hoover Dam is right here, and this has got to be come out of, and you've got to walk through here, and you've got to get to the Golden Gate Bridge. And I've said this before in another video, this is going to probably be the third part of the installment. It always works in threes. This will be the next biggie. There'll be some other small ones in between, I'm sure, but this will be, after this, will be this, the next biggie. So we had 9/11, we'll have this, and then this will be the next biggie. Okay. And that may be at the final end of the... Oh, just one more thing to say about that. We do have a 2020, I think it's a 2023 eclipse coming through this way. And then, of course, we've got a 2024 one as well. And are we in the middle of that now? So will we have the middle event now? Don't know. Anyway, whatever. We're back to this again. We're back to Diana's children. William and Henry, Billy Idol, all the good stuff. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't really want to go over anymore now. That's it. I've got to finish it somewhere. And that little reference there, I love that one. I love that one. This coming out of the fiction and having to travel to the Golden Gate. This is where you're trying to get to. Lion Estates, where Marty lived. This is where you're trying to get to, the Golden Gate. You need the key to get through the gate. Yanis is the key master. The gatekeeper. You need the key to give to the gatekeeper, as in Ghostbusters. Anyway, I've pretty much done this one to death now. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Anybody's guess. I do have a feeling, with the amount of stuff out there that references this, from Star Wars to James Bond to Back to the Future, it is just everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I have a feeling it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen, it could happen, well, it could happen today, or it could happen in 50 years' time. Who knows? Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and that's it for this one. Cheers, bye.